Es una buena peli, pero bien dramática. Quédate acá que te voy a contar por qué tenés que ver Beautiful Boy. O, como creo que le tendrían que haber puesto originalmente, una lloradita y a seguir. Es uno de los relatos más crudos que vi sobre las adicciones y cómo te afectan a vos y a tu familia. Son dos actores injustamente ignorados por la academia porque lo que hacen Timothée Chalamet y Steve Carell es alucinante. Está inspirada en la vida y las memorias de Nic Sheff, un chico que uno creería que tenía la vida resuelta y que no tendría ningún tipo de problema, pero que terminó cayendo en el abuso de las sustancias. La encuentran en Prime Video y le pregunté a su diseñador de producción cómo fue pensar ese mundo en el que vivía Nic Sheff.
We now return to Mira Akien and Contre with our latest interview.
Beautiful Boy was a really hard movie to make. I think it was the hardest movie I've ever done.
You're just embarrassed because I was like, I was like this amazing thing, like your special creation or something, and you don't like who I am now.
With everything that I do, I consider my piece of the puzzle to be emotional architecture. So I say that because I'm looking to extract someone's internal struggle and create a physical world around them. So in this case, what I really wanted to illustrate was a house. We built the house on a soundstage, and we took cues from Marin County and northern San Francisco and the chef's actual home that I spent time in and spent time with the family, seeing how they lived. And it's sort of a cross between like hyper intellectual East Coasters and hippie West Coasters. And it's steeped in this incredible, almost Irish Middle Earth landscape. It's doused in fog and 3,000-year-old redwood trees and hyper progressive architecture and education and art. And what I wanted is for you to think, this is the last place on earth that would foster an addict. It's the last place on earth that would find themselves with a boy who was incapable of loving himself and was hell-bent on self-destruction. So that was sort of the goal in the canvas that we built around them. It is a place where I would have loved to have grown up, in a family I would have loved to have been a son in, and not the place where you would think these sort of dark things brew. And that's the point. Addicts come in all shapes and sizes. They're everywhere. It doesn't matter how healthy or loving your foundation is. If you're predisposed to addiction, or if you're introduced to a drug that traps you, you have no context anymore for happiness.
There are moments that I look at him, this kid that I raised, who I thought I knew inside and out, and I wonder who he is.
We all have someone close to us, be it ourselves or others that we love, who are addicts or struggling with addiction or have been affected by substance abuse. And I am no exception. I was extremely close with someone right before Beautiful Boy went into production who I had struggled to help become sober, and who was in rehabilitation when I got the call for the movie. And I had told myself I wasn't going to do a movie as a result because there was too much going on in my personal life at the time. And then I got the call for this, of all things. And I had read the book 3 or 4 months earlier and identified my this person in my life's struggle with this drug, crystal meth, a drug I've never actually tried or even been around, but have seen the effects of, particularly in the gay community where it's so rampant. And I felt it was my responsibility to design this project, but I had an incredibly difficult time separating art from life experience. It was very, very hard to watch Timmy lose the weight, go through those emotional upheavals, and then watching Steve fight for his son's well-being when his son wanted anything but to be saved.
My son is out there somewhere, and I don't know what he's doing. I don't know how to help him. You can't.
It's like a heavy theme to play, to portray. How intense was that to see every day?
When you're on a comedy, and I haven't done a comedy in a long time because I guess I just don't gravitate to them so much anymore. But when you're on a comedy, you go out for drinks every night with friends, and you go to the beach on the weekends, and you work out every day, and you keep in touch with your family. When you're on a drama about somebody who's slowly disintegrating, and a lot of it was shot chronologically because Timmy had to lose the weight and become more and more immersed in the downward cycle. you don't talk to your friends, and you don't sleep that well, and you don't eat that well, and you stop going to the gym. And, you know, when it's over, you're sort of like, where was my life before this? So, you know, I guess in answer to your question, yeah, it's really hard. But you kind of just keep thinking like, this is really necessary. I'm glad I'm doing this. I'm grateful that these conversations are being had. I hope this educates people. This isn't a choice. Addicts are not bad people. They're not choosing to destroy their lives. They're not. And another thing that I learned is relapse is part of recovery. That's a big one. You know, you relapse as part of your process of finding healthy sobriety. It's inevitable. And specifically, crystal meth doesn't respond to Narcotics Anonymous. It doesn't respond to traditional sober education structures. It permanently, in some cases, permanently affects your brain, but in every case affects your fight or flight response and your synaptic connections for 2 years. They're burnt. So you are in a perpetual state of panic, and you can't respond rationally or consistently to your sponsor. So that's why so many people fail at becoming sober from crystal meth. I'm not an expert, but I certainly spoke to a lot of experts making the movie, and I'm proud of what we did, and I can only hope that it helps normalize a rampant condition that doesn't get talked about enough.
I love you more than everything.
Everything.
Everything. Everything.